Welcome to Nice and Blunt. Let's take a look at what the draft board is going to look like now that we're post combine, but still before free agency. We might be able to get some good deals. Let's go. All right, so it is time. We are here on Underdog, and we're going to enter the big board this time around. There's no little board anymore. This is a $10 tournament. And before you get into it yourself, let's just remind you of the rules and parameters. The first prize takes home 200K. So we'd obviously love to win that, but the odds are always low. It's fun. I want to give myself a chance, but this is more just seeing what's going to happen. We got one quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, one tight end, one flex, 12 bench spots, so 20 round draft, half PPR, best ball. Don't have to set a lineup, it's just automatic. Let's get in here. Let's get going. We're waiting for one person. So if you want to join, you can enter code Nice and Blunt and hop in maybe before this thing is full, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. So we'll wait for that. Not a long wait here, but not starting just yet. Until that happens, let's take a look at some of the performers in the combine. McConkey's an interesting one here on the screen, but wide receivers were really the position that I think there's the most value this year in the draft. I mean, quarterback's pretty loaded, but wide receivers really stepped up. And I feel like the player who got the most hype was Xavier Worthy, who ran a record 4.21. Damn, that was impressive. But, there's still some other really good options, especially at wide receiver, that were very fast as well. Like Brian Thomas Jr., I think that's kind of a more impressive number, honestly, as an overall prospect, 4.33 with like another 40 pounds on him. That one was really impressive. Adonai Mitchell, also sub 4.35, 4.34. Devontae Walker, really quick, 4.36. Jacob Coing, 4.38. And then a few more players tied sub 4.4 speed. We got Anthony Gould, Xavier Legette, Ladd McConkey, and Roman Wilson all coming in below 4.4. But let's take a look at what spot we have in this draft. We are picking at number 10. Number 10 is not bad. It's ideal to be at the top, but as long as I'm not at number 12, but I'm near the bookend, I do like that because you get two picks that are kind of close together, and you can usually kind of predict what's going to happen with picks 11 and 12 a lot of the time, coming on that short turn. So here's the draft board. Here it is, and we see CeeDee Lamb and Christian McCaffrey go off in the top two. So that's not too different. Usually CMC goes number 1. Jamar Chase at 3. That's interesting. That he's usually like number 6 or so. So somebody likes him. Jefferson at 4. That makes plenty of sense. I feel like as long as Cousins comes back, Jefferson is locked in as a top 3 at worst receiver. And then Tyreek Hill, getting a little bit older, but still a premier talent. That's what's nice to have an early pick. You get one of the truly best receivers available. Once we get to pick 6, I think there's a bit of a tier break. But, anyone you're taking in the first round, not going to be upset with that selection. So who may be available to us coming in soon? We're probably going to go with wide receiver. Probably. But if Bijan somehow falls, I'd be happy with Bijan. Let's see what happens. Who you gonna take? G Money. Probably not even live. Probably just letting time out. I hope there aren't that many auto draft picks in this one. That would kind of suck, but it's not the end of the world. Puka goes off. I would have liked to have Puka, but A.J. Brown with a new offensive coordinator. Not a bad selection. And I think that's who I'm going to take. I mean, some elite games last year. Usually puts up over double-digit touchdowns. Went over 1,400 yards again. I would expect that to repeat. So give me A.J. Brown. As long as he stays healthy, he's deserving of a first-round pick. Garrett Wilson, I don't know if Rodgers is really going to keep that value so high. You'd expect it would be worth it, but I don't know. It's a little pricey for me. I would be much happier if I could get him in like the mid to late second round. I feel like Garrett Wilson at top 12 is a little bit risky. That's just my opinion. But running back goes off. That's a bit unfortunate. We could take the value on Garrett Wilson. We could do it, even though we kind of just shit on him a little bit. But I've taken DJ Moore so many times, I think I'm going to just diversify my revenue. And it is second round. Screw it. We will go with Garrett Wilson. We'll take wide receiver. I would have loved to get one of those running backs. If I could have gotten Taylor or Kyron Williams at 15, would have much more preferred to do that. But if Rodgers is indeed healthy, that's not like they have other weapons in the passing game to worry about. So Garrett Wilson at 15. We'll take our shot. We'll accept the consequences of Garrett Wilson. But boy, last year was a little bit rough. And I don't know if I trust Rodgers to stay healthy. I mean, I just don't know if I can. Last year, 168 targets, only caught 95 for 1,042. So the volume's going to be there, that's for sure. But only 3 touchdowns. You would hope that goes up to 11 or 12 if Rodgers is healthy. So we need that to happen. That's the only path for this pick to pay off. But there is a premium price tag on Garrett Wilson, despite a down year last year. Definitely didn't live up to the hype. But the volume is just so high. You would expect it to work out from a floor standpoint. But yikes. Don't feel great about it. No, I do not. Then we see DJ Moore go off. I like the DJ Moore pick a lot. But if the mock drafts that I've seen for the Chicago Bears do pan out, they might be getting Rome Odunze at pick number 9, and that would definitely eat into the value of DJ Moore significantly, even if he gets the quarterback upgrade of Caleb Williams or, maybe they stick with Justin Fields. That's very unlikely, but I don't think DJ Moore is going to have the target share that he did last season if they do indeed go with Rome Odunze at pick 9. That would really crater the value, and I don't think he'd be worth it. Marvin Harrison Jr., great spot if he goes to Arizona. That would be elite for his fantasy value, playing alongside Kyler Murray. But if he goes to New England, if he's a Patriot, oh, God, that would suck. That would be horrendous and definitely wouldn't work out. So that value is scary, a little bit overpriced, given we don't exactly know where he's going to play. Adams, Olave, I think are pretty comparable, kind of in the Garrett Wilson tier. Rashee Rice is in the same territory as these other receivers, like even Garrett Wilson on many respects. But for him to go like almost 10 picks later, I think is way more appropriate. I like Ayuk and Debo back to back. There's a chance that Ayuk gets traded. It's unlikely in my opinion, but this is good value. Diggs, they're moving on from Gabe Davis, probably going to secure the same type of value. I think that's a good pick, good value on Diggs. Excuse me. And then Tank Dell, Michael Pittman. I love the Michael Pittman value. I love the Mike Evans value. I think it's pretty much guaranteed that they bring back Baker Mayfield. So these wide receivers, I think, are all in the same kind of flat territory. We're just hoping that Garrett Wilson takes that leap if Aaron Rodgers can somehow, some way stay healthy. But yeah, anyone you get in round 2 to like mid-round 3 at receiver, I think is kind of the same player a lot of the time. I don't know if I love the Devon Achane value. I've still been like so reluctant to take him Allen, late round 2. If you can get him in round 3, that's really ideal. But there's just such good values at other quarterback positions. Not my favorite way to go. We could opt for the Jalen Hurts stack. And I think I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. The tush push was not banned, and that is going to secure at least 10 rushing touchdowns for Hurts. And the fact that we have him paired with A.J. Brown in this tournament format, I want the stack. That's very valuable. We might even go with Devontae Smith and double up on the Eagles receivers. But if not, hopefully Etienne can fall back to us. That's a really good running back value to have. However, Purple Nurple at pick 12 goes running back to start. And then we get sniped on Devontae Smith, of course. So that's a bummer. Not fun. But, we take our chances. Keenan Allen goes. I would have loved to get Keenan Allen. That is unfortunate. I don't really want to reach on running back, but we could definitely use one. The Chiefs' offense is absolutely pivoting towards the running back position, so I might be going with Pacheco. I don't know if I want to, but I will. I will take Pacheco. He's definitely worth a 4th-round pick. I don't think you're going to be upset. I don't think there's any way you bust with Pacheco in the 4th round. I would have just much more loved to get Etienne at pick 39. We reached on him a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. We got our Eagles stack, and I like it. But at running back, the value really falls off. Our next pick is just above number 60, and we're looking at hoping for Josh Jacobs. But maybe we're going to be stuck with Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry. We don't know where he's going to land, so that's a little dicey. Knowing that you lock yourself into the Chiefs' offense with Pacheco, I think is valuable. I think it's a good bet. We already have 2 good receivers. I'm not afraid to move off that position, despite some decent value in round 4 as well. Keenan and Devontae, I think, are really, really good picks. But Kupp kind of fell off a cliff last year. His health scares me. And then Rome, if I knew where he was going to go, I'd be a little more confident in it. He's really talented, but I'm just a little bit scared by a potential Titans landing spot. That would suck. If he goes at number 7 to the Titans, or even number 8 to Atlanta, I'd be a little worried about that. And then if he does go to Chicago, that's also maybe not ideal. I wish he could be the true number 1 in an offense. But Amari Cooper's tempting. T. Higgins fell off last year. Terry, you're kind of just projecting, hoping for the best with a new quarterback. Christian Kirk, wow, a reach on Christian Kirk at pick 49. That's a bold move there. I've seen him go late round 6. So as the 5th receiver, I don't know if that's a wise move for pick 1, but it is a tournament. You want to take your chances, do something different. Now we're starting to see the tight ends go off, and I think McBride is a little bit scary to me before Kelsey and Andrews. I do think he's a top 5 tight end, but he just popped off so heavily at the end of last year when they had no other weapons to throw to at all. Marquise Brown was so hurt. If they get Marvin Harrison, don't expect the volume to be that high. He's good. He's definitely a safe option, but the touchdowns weren't really there for him, and if he wasn't getting 10 targets a game, then he wasn't as valuable. So I think I'd still probably go Kelsey over McBride today, and then I still think I prefer Andrews as well. From a touchdown production standpoint, I think Andrews is a little bit better, although the likely presence at tight end behind him, Isaiah Likely, is a little bit worrisome, just a smidge. But receiver is drying up. Love me some Brian Thomas, as we mentioned earlier in the video, ran a 4.3340 at the combine. Unfortunately, Addison does not fall to us. Addison's a great, great value. But Thomas is moving up the board significantly. I remember he was like a pick 75, 78 just a couple weeks ago. Okay. We could go Ridley, but don't know where he's going to land. That kind of scares me, that situation. I think I might go with Pickens. Pickens had a good year, over 1,000 yards, some high boom games. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Pickens. And if they get Russell Wilson, maybe he can have a Courtland Sutton type of season with a lot of touchdowns. But maybe we should have gone receiver with our previous pick. Maybe, just maybe. Let me know what you think in the chat. Did we make the wrong selection with Pacheco over Pickens? We see Richardson and Stroud go off. Henry goes off. But if we do not get sniped on Brian Thomas Jr., I will be taking Brian Thomas Jr. here. I really like his talent, and I believe that the landing spot is going to be in the late teens in the draft. On the draft board, I have him going to the Jacksonville Jaguars at pick 17. I think that would be a perfect fit for him. He'd be the true number one receiver for Trevor Lawrence. That'd be a great landing spot. And if they pass on him, I think he would go immediately after that at pick 18 to the Bengals. That would definitely kind of cap his value a little bit because they do still have T. Higgins there. But I don't think he's going to fall past that. And maybe he goes to a team like the Raiders. That would kind of suck. But I believe the Raiders are going to go in a different direction. And I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be taken in the draft in the late teens. And I believe the perfect spot for him is number 17 to Jacksonville. And that would really, really be ideal. That's a big reason why I don't think Calvin Ridley is worth the value. If I thought that Ridley was going to stay in Jacksonville, I probably would have taken him over George Pickens, but I do not believe that to be true. I think they're going to move off of Calvin Ridley, let somebody else pay for him. He was very up and down, not as productive as we hoped he would be last year, and I think they're going to draft Brian Thomas Jr. at pick 17. That's really what I think is going to happen. So I think Brian Thomas Jr., excellent, excellent value. And let's just take a look at his profile real quick. At the combine, he put up really good numbers. 6'3", 209 pounds. Very ideal. Coming out of LSU at wide receiver factory and scored very highly, an 86 on the next gen score, 6.41. Very good prospect grade. His arms are long, 32 3/4 inches. His hands are almost 10 inches, 9 3/4 inches for his hands. Very quick, 4.33 speed. Vertical, 38.5. That's definitely in the higher end of the spectrum. Broad jump, pretty decent. And yeah, I'm excited about Brian Thomas Jr., especially if he goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I would love to see that happen. Absolutely love it. Because otherwise, the teams that might take him would maybe be Indianapolis at pick 15, but I feel like they might go like Brock Bowers, perhaps. He could go to New Orleans, possibly, but I think they might address their defensive line. I feel like they might go for someone like Leatu Latu or Jared Verse on the edge. So other than that, it's like Seattle, but they already went with JSN last year. I can't imagine Seattle takes him. And the Colts are not a bad landing spot either. So um, I think he's going to go to Jacksonville. And that's an excellent pairing with Trevor Lawrence if that does indeed happen. So I think Brian Thomas Jr., one of the biggest potential investments that you can make. And it makes sense why his value has been creeping up the board as of late. Very, very enticing option if that does indeed happen. Would love to see him playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, we're back on the clock in just a few seconds here. I don't understand why Joe Mixon is going so late. I know I'm reaching on him by 7 picks right here, but it makes no sense to me why he is falling that late. Like, I don't see how they cut him. I really can't imagine how that would happen. He's under contract, and I feel like people forget that. Because he's running back 26 off the board. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'd much rather have him than Eckler. I think I'd rather have him than Connor. He's younger. He's more efficient. I think Mixon's great. So I don't think they're going to move off of him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it happening. And while I would have liked to have Ingram, there's 2 other tight ends that I'm very comfortable with that are still going to be on the board here. I'm going to go with David Njoku. Give me Njoku. Just a huge focal point in his offensive game plan at the end of last year. Amari Cooper's another year older, and their receiving depth is really kind of a big question mark. So I think Njoku's going to remain a huge focal point of that offense, and I think he's going to be an absolutely guaranteed top 10 tight end. So we're getting him in round 8, where you have 4 receivers. We've got our Eagles stack with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. And then at running back, we have Isaiah Pacheco and Joe Mixon, someone who put up great stats last year. I feel like people just don't remember what he did. Last year, we had kind of the same situation where he was being drafted in like the 8th round or something. And then once free agency was over and his contract was settled, he vaulted up to like round 4. So I think he's a player that would move up. Last year, ran for 1,034 yards. There were not many running backs that went over 1,000 in general. So really good numbers from him. Another 9 rushing touchdowns, a total of 12 because he caught 3 of them, and also caught 52 receptions. He does it all. I like him a lot. Almost over 1,400 total yards last year in all 17 games. Still relatively in his prime. He will be 28 next year, but I think he's a great value where he's going. He is under contract, and I know that they have Chase Brown moving up a little bit in terms of value, but I don't see why they get rid of him. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess they would save a little bit on the cap, up to $6 million here, according to over the cap. But it's not like they pay him like a crazy amount. Maybe they move on, but I don't see it happening. He's a really important part of their offense. So as long as that remains the same, I think he's going way too late in the ADP, and I'm happy to take him. Here, pick 82, followed by David Njoku, pick 87. So we will see what happens. But I like Joe Mixon's value a lot. A lot. Okay. Big run on quarterback just went off. Jordan Love, Herbert, Purdy, and Kyler at the 8-9 turn. To get Tua at pick 101 when just a little bit 10 picks earlier you could have gotten any one of those ones I just mentioned. That's a big drop off in value. I feel like team 5 made a big mistake there. Tua scares me. Tua was really underwhelming in the second half of last year. Only threw like one touchdown per game. So often. Not as good as we would have expected. I think Team 5 messed up going Jameson Williams over Tua. But that's my opinion. They can do what they want. We could hedge our bet and possibly go with Chase Brown as a handcuff to Mixon. That's a potential move. I don't know if I love it though. The teams after us, one of them has only one wide receiver, so we might want to make them pay a little bit. That's not good for them. And then we might want our like hopeful stack of Trevor Lawrence, perhaps, but that'd be coming back around. Maybe we go with Goddard. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Goddard, and we're kind of just going to be relatively complete at the tight end position. Tight end falls off a cliff following Cole Kmet, in my view. I guess Dalton Schultz just re-signing in Houston. He's not bad, but there's only 2 tight ends left on the board that I think are like decent options, and now we don't have to worry about that position until round 20. So we're set up well there. Interesting values. I kind of want to go Mike Williams because I think he stays in LA and he's my boy. But I'm gonna trust my gut. And I told you I believe Brian Thomas Jr. will be a Jacksonville Jaguar. We're gonna make that bet that Trevor Lawrence is the stack, completing it with Brian Thomas Jr. And now not only are we done at tight end, we're pretty much done with quarterback until the very end of this draft. We don't have to worry about it for a very long time. Lawrence is mobile. He does give us some value there, and I do think he will return to top 10 value. I'd much rather have Lawrence than Tua. I think I'd rather have Lawrence than Fields. I think other than maybe Herbert, he's in the same tier. I think he should be higher. I think him and Purdy are not that far off, but what about Jay Smith to Miami possibility and Ertz signing with Washington? Are you talking about Jonnu Smith, fantasy dog? I think you're talking about Jonnu Smith. I mean, they don't really use the tight end, man. I don't know about that. He's okay. Definitely interesting, but Ertz in Washington I think is very kind of just like meh news because they also have what's his name? Oh, I'm blanking on his name. Logan Thomas. So they have 2 like just veteran guys, and I think they kind of eat into each other. I think I'd prefer Ertz for sure, but I feel like it might kind of be like an Arizona situation where you have both of them kind of just ruining each other's value. But yeah, we might take a guy like Ertz in round 20 perhaps. That's definitely a guy we could consider now that we have like good tight ends and stuff on this team. So I'm interested in Ertz for sure, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, was Logan Thomas let go? I guess there is a new coach. That would make sense. Okay, that's definitely more intriguing. I think they definitely, at worst, get like Jaden Daniels. So yeah, he's a player to consider for sure. Definitely someone with value signing a new deal. Okay. Where are we on the board? Coming back around with our 11th round pick. Just real quick, because there's some rookies that went off. Adney Mitchell goes off at 105. My landing spot for Mitchell is Baltimore. I think Adonai Mitchell is going to be a Baltimore Raven off the board at pick 30. Mitchell had a really good combine with his speed, but there were some like reps where he kind of had some drops. He was a little bit inconsistent, but he's definitely a first round value. And if he does not go off the board to Buffalo or Tampa Bay at 26, 28, then I would expect Mitchell to be drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. But Xavier Worthy, I think, is probably going to go off the board at like 32 or 33, whether it's to the Chiefs or the Panthers. But I think Keon Coleman will be a Panther. I think Xavier Worthy might be a Chief. So that's really, really strong value at pick 10. Maybe they pass on him. It's possible the Chiefs avoid wide receiver at the end of the first round. But I think Ladd McConkey, who got sniped at pick 110 before we took Trevor Lawrence, I think he's going to be a Buffalo Bill. I think he will be a Buffalo Bill. Logan Thomas expected to be released per Garofalo. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard that happen, but I wouldn't be shocked now that you bring it up and I think about it, given they have a completely new coaching staff and everything. Everything there is up in the air. But I think we need running back. We only have 2. And I'm going to go with Blake Corum. I think Blake Corum is going to be a Charger. I think Blake Corum will be a Charger. I think he's going to be on the board in round 3. And I can't imagine moving off of Eckler, really needing one that Jim Harbaugh passes on Corum. Fancy Dog loving my takes. We'll see if they're accurate. I mean, I could completely miss on them. I have no insider information. I could be completely wrong, but I will be doing a mock draft at least early April, if not late March, once there's like a little bit more clarity following free agency, and I can kind of project a little bit where these players are going to go. But I kind of want to go Kirk Cousins. It's a little bit risky because we already have 2 quarterbacks. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, we're just done at quarterback. But Cousins is either a Viking where he gets some of the best weapons in the NFL, or he's a Falcon and another very strong situation for him where he has good weapons to throw to and will put up excellent numbers. He was a top 5 quarterback before he got injured last year. So we are loaded at quarterback. We're done at that position. And now we're just going to look for values at running back and wide receiver. I might only go with 2 tight ends in this draft. I may avoid that position. But yeah, no problem. We're all in this together. Yes, we are. Yeah, this is a community, and you guys check me on some of my bullshit when I'm not as sharp, and I try and help everyone out with my projections, my insights, and all the research that I do. But yeah, don't worry about it, my friend. Do not worry at all. Okay, who else is going off the board here? We see Roshan, Devin Singletary. We're probably the first team with 3 quarterbacks, but I don't care. In this tournament setting, I just want like great outputs from my quarterback position. We're going to get those boom weeks for sure. Maybe it's a little bit of a unnecessary pick, but just in case our T-Law selection goes south, we have good value. That's the thing about these tournaments. You still want to win this league. You need to finish top 2 in this league, and then you advance to the playoff rounds where then you're up against everyone. So while our stack is definitely critical and valuable, having a floor of like 20, 25 points every single week at quarterback with like high odds for 30 plus, I think that's a valuable route to take as well. But we need Mixon to stay in Cincinnati. We need Corum to be drafted by the Chargers. If he doesn't go to the Chargers, then maybe he could go to like Arizona in the 3rd round. I feel like that would be a good landing spot for him. I feel like they need somebody to at least start moving off of James Conner. Is Conner a Cardinal next year? I don't know if Conner's a free agent or not. No, he has 1 more year in Arizona. Yeah, so that wouldn't be ideal. But I do believe Blake Corum will be drafted early 3rd round, and I think he's a Charger. I believe he'll be a Charger. I think Marshawn Lloyd is going to be a Washington Commander. Played for USC last year, and they have Cliff Kingsbury as the OC. I believe Marshawn Lloyd will be a Commander. They have the last pick of the 3rd round at pick 101, and then they also have the 2nd pick of the 4th round at pick 103. So I think one of those 2 picks, one of the first 3 picks in outside the top 100, will be Marshawn Lloyd going to Washington. I believe that's going to happen. So I like Marshawn Lloyd's value. Would kind of screw up Brian Thomas's value, but not the end of the world. We could have went with our stack with Aaron Rodgers, but who did I pass on when I took Cousins? I passed on guys like Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis, Dontavian Wicks, Michael Wilson, Roman Wilson, Quentin Johnson, Adam Thielen. Yeah, nobody I'm like over the moon about. Oh, on the big board, the top 3 advance. Oh, that's even better. That increases our odds even more significantly. That's great news. I'm happy about that news. But we're gonna win it all. Oh boy, I don't understand why he falls so much. But Khalil Herbert, I think, is still the RB1 in Chicago. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they draft somebody else. But Khalil Herbert, when healthy, was really good before that ankle injury. He came on strong again at the end of the season. They're going to move off of Deontay Foreman. And maybe Roschon Johnson is more of a pass catcher, but I still think Khalil Herbert's the more talented option. So I like Khalil Herbert. The offense should be better. And we're getting him 10 picks after ADP. Excellent value on Khalil Herbert. I like Khalil Herbert a lot. Oh, do not snipe me. Please do not. Yes. I did have Marshawn Lloyd queued up, but I think Xavier Legette is a better value. Legette, I have projected going to the New York Giants at pick 39. However, there is a slight chance that he also goes to the Chargers at pick 37. I believe Legette is a early 2nd round pick. There's a minor chance that he goes to the Chiefs at pick 32, but I would be shocked if Legette is not off the board by the 40th pick of the draft. And with number 37 being the Chargers and number 39 being the Giants, I think he's going to be on track to be a wide receiver 1 in either of those 2 offenses in the next 2 years. Hopefully it's the Chargers. That would really be sublime. But even if it's the Giants, I don't hate that situation at all. I think he'd have more targets actually if he was a Giant this year than if he was a Charger. So either of those situations I think are really good, but Legette is an excellent prospect. And I like Legette a lot, who I think deserve to move up a lot. Like guys who skyrocketed up the board following the combine were like Adney Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, McConkey as well. But I feel like people are just forgetting about Leggett because this is pretty much where he was going about a week or two ago. So, um, yes, I did see that Steve Smith views him as DK as well. So he absolutely profiles in that situation. And he does run a 4.3940. So I like Leggett a lot. I think Leggett's going to be very solid. Very, very good player. If he goes to the Chargers, holy shit, that's going to be dope. But there's good value at receiver this late. I think there's a lot of good players. At this point, we're just looking at running back and wide receiver. And running back is just flying off the board. Wow. Yeah, running back's getting a little bit depleted, but we already have 4. And the 4 we have, I think, are all going to be starters. So I'm comfortable with running back at the moment. Going to be looking at wide receiver, and I love me some Josh Palmer. I believe he is above Quentin Johnston by far. Maybe Quentin Johnston somehow wakes up, but Josh Palmer, excellent player. And unfortunately, Malachi Corley just went off. I think Corley, my projection for Corley is that he goes off the board at pick 59 to the Houston Texans. I think Corley is going to be a Texan. That would be great for him. There's a chance he's a Brown. There's a chance that he's a Dolphin at pick 54 or 55. There's a chance he's even an Eagle at pick 50. And then there's also a chance that he's a Cowboy at pick 56. But I have Malachi Corley going off the board at 59, and he will be a Houston Texan in my estimation. But we're still a long time from the draft, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We could go with a Jacksonville stack with Zay Jones. I'm pretty sure Zay Jones is still a Jaguar. He's not a free agent, is he? No, he has one more year. One more year. But I like me Malik Washington as well. You've done 70 big boards? Wow. Big investment there. A lot of Leggett and Corley. I don't hate it. Those are good players. Yeah, I'm going to take Palmer. Palmer's like my most drafted player, I believe. One of my top 3. I can't stop taking Palmer. I think he's super valuable. Yeah, a bit of a sicko. I've done like 25 drafts, and most of them were the little board. I'm not sitting here investing. What would that be? $700, bro. Damn, you are getting in early. I mean, good for you. You're giving yourself a chance, but damn, that's a lot. That's a big investment, buddy. Good luck. Good luck. But love me some Palmer, especially if they move off of Mike Williams. That'd be so good for Palmer's value. Don't know if that's a guarantee, but I definitely think he's number 3 on their depth chart, above Quentin Johnston. I don't understand why Johnston is being drafted much higher than him. Not at all. We could go Gus Edwards. He re-signed in Baltimore. Could take a shot on J.K. Dobbins, but I don't love it. Devontae Walker goes off. I wouldn't be shocked to see Devontae Walker be the Chiefs' second round pick at number 64. Would not be shocked to see him go there at all. I feel like they're going to pass on receiver um, at 32 and then just take whoever's available in the second round. I think it's going to be Walker. But Malik Washington, I'm going out on a limb here, but I think Malik Washington is going to be a Detroit Lion. I think he's going to fall to the third round. He caught 110 passes last year. He is ready to go. And the Lions need a replacement for Josh Reynolds. I think Malik Washington is a great prospect. And my projection for him is off the board at number 92 to the Detroit Lions. I think he would be a good complement to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I would love to see that happen. Really hope that happened. I mean, I have no idea, but that's what I believe. I think he'll be a top 100 pick. And I heard Brett Coleman likes him a lot. And when you watch the tape, it's actually really impressive. I like Malik Washington a ton. Really good season last year out of Virginia. And he's only 5'8", but he is a strong, bulky 5'8", and he can do a lot. He is very skilled. And if he does indeed go to the Lions, oh boy, they're going to use him so well, so effective. I think that's a legit possibility. I think there's a high chance that he does wind up in Detroit. It's also possible he winds up in Denver at pick 76, but I have him going off the board at 92 to the Detroit Lions. So still getting some later round values with these rookies here. At 183, I think Malik Washington is a good player to invest in. But we need running back significantly the rest of the way. We got 7 receivers now. 3 of them are rookies. And we have 4 running backs. Blake Corum is one of them. We're hoping Mixon stays in Cincinnati. We're hoping that the Chicago Bears do not add a running back in free agency or the draft. We're hoping that Khalil Herbert works out. Okay. Teams behind us both have 6 running backs. Fewer receivers. So I might want to take my last receiver. I probably won't, though. Probably not. But after our Malik Washington pick, we see Daniel Jones go off. I think that's a bit of a waste. Quarterback they draft. I think the Giants draft a quarterback. But then we see Curtis Samuel. Interesting where he will land. Then we see Gus Edwards, Tyler Conklin, Trey Palmer. I don't think there's any value in Palmer. Josh Palmer, yes, but Trey Palmer, not really. Antonio Gibson, Miles Sanders, Will Levis, Rico Dowdle, Kenny Gainwell, Okonkwo. Okonkwo has good value. Okonkwo's going too late. Treylon Burks, Davis Allen. With Tyler Higbee injured in the playoff game, Allen's going to get some run, but I don't think he's that valuable. We're super late in the draft, though, at this point. It's kind of like whoever you like. I think Hunter Henry is more valuable, though. Hunter Henry should have a good landing spot, should score some touchdowns, like he was last year with the Patriots. But Dobbins goes off. I would have liked to have Dobbins, but it is what it is. Yikes. Running back is a bit gross at this point. We need Mixon to really work out for us. But there's some options. I kind of like Demarcus Robinson. He just signed back in LA with the Rams. But I'm going to go with Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah, Robinson is back in LA with the Rams. You think New England might keep Henry? I don't know. I do not know. He's a big randomness type of option. Yeah, Robinson is definitely an intriguing option. If we go to over the cap, we can see that he just signed a $4 million contract, fully guaranteed. So it's a 1 year deal, but he has a legit role in store for him as probably the number 3 receiver for the Rams. So that's probably going to be my pick. There's not like that much of a difference with all these running backs here late. I kind of want to go with Tank Bigsby a little bit, given our Jacksonville investment. I might do that because we need running back a little bit more. But I'm definitely considering strongly Demarcus Robinson. Uh, nah, I'll take Demarcus Robinson. Yeah, I'll take him. Have a good one, man. Enjoy your evening. It's been fun. Is Zamir White gone? Yes, Zamir White went far, far earlier. Zamir White's like an 11th round pick. Zamir White, yeah, went at pick 129, 11th round, right before I took Blake Corum. But I think he's a guy that's going to skyrocket up the board because I find it hard to believe that they're actually going to retain Josh Jacobs. They're letting him enter free agency, and Zamir White was really effective when he was filling in at the end of the season. So I feel like Zamir White, give it 2 weeks, and I think he might be closer to like Najee Harris in terms of a pick. But yeah, White was an absolute beast. I was a big fan of him coming out of college. I love me some Georgia running backs, honestly. But there's still hope for our Tank Bigsby selection. Still some hope. Bigsby looked good coming out of the draft last year, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got hurt or something. They moved on to like Dearness Johnson over him, so that's a little bit tricky. But, he's a handcuff. Wouldn't hate it. Would not hate it. McCarthy's going off. I feel like McCarthy, there's so much buzz about him after the combine. I feel like he might go off the board before Drake May. I think it's going to be Caleb Williams to Chicago, Jaden Daniels to Washington, and then I kind of feel like the Patriots are going to trade out and somebody's going to move up and take McCarthy. I feel like the Patriots need so many weapons, and there's a lot of like derogatory marks on Drake May. Maybe it's just because they want him to fall and, like you're saying, reflect the sun, that you think JJ is a trap. But it sounds like everybody's just like enamored with JJ McCarthy. And May is really taking some hits. But at the worst, I feel like McCarthy would be going number 6 to the Giants. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see the Chargers trade out of 5, and like Harbaugh is like hyping up McCarthy on the phone with whoever wants to trade up to get him. But I think the latest McCarthy's going to go off the board is number 6 to the Giants. He's really interesting. Better O line or D line for the Seahawks? I think they get Michael Penix. I think the Seahawks are going to get Michael Penix. Whether they trade up to get him or if he falls to him at number 16. I feel like the Seahawks got to go quarterback. It's kind of a needed position for them. Geno's not the answer. I think they're going to go with Penix. But there's a ton of offensive linemen. If they don't go with him, they're going to definitely get a good option, good tackle in the first round. Maybe somebody like Fashanu, possibly, or J.C. Latham. We will see. So many interesting narratives going into this draft. Going to be wild. The receiver position is loaded. Our bet may be paying off. We might not get sniped here, and we might get. Damn it, we get sniped. Oh, I wanted Bigsby. Damn it. Oh shit. Shit. I might go Dulcich. Yikes. That's annoying. Yeah, just give me Dulcich. Damn it. That's a bummer. Have they added him yet? I don't understand why Isaac Guerendo is not on this fucking board yet. It makes no sense to me. Guerendo dominated the 40, had an excellent combine. Isaac Guerendo should be available, and you can't fucking draft him. It pisses me off. Ugh. I don't know what Underdog is doing, but they're just gatekeeping Isaac Guerendo. Fuck. Who am I going with here? Fuck. I'm not going to go with... no, maybe Jamal Williams. He could sign somewhere. Maybe Jeff Wilson. I also feel like Deontay Foreman could definitely sign somewhere. I'm not going with Alexander Madison. Fuck no. Eric Gray. Maybe the Giants. Ugh. Fuck. Yeah, that Bigsby snipe. Oh, that sucked so bad. That killed me. Not happy about it. We could just ignore running back, but I don't think I can afford to do that. I think I need another one. What's Jeff Wilson's situation? Is he back in Miami? I'm hoping he's a free agent. No, he's back in Miami. Yeah, I don't want him. I'm gonna go with Deontay Foreman. Somehow, some way, he finds a way to have value. I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna sign with someone. So to get him in round 20, I'm not. I really wanted Bigsby, but he's a free agent. He's 28, and he plays well. He does enough. So I think he has a path, but damn it. Oh, I wanted Bigsby so bad. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have gone with Demarcus Robinson at 207. It was between Robinson and Bigsby, and we almost had it work out where Bigsby fell to us at 226. But nope, not today. All right, so that's our draft. We'll go in order. Okay, so we started at pick 10. We had A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson. Then we went with the Philly stack with Jalen Hurts, followed by Isaiah Pacheco. Slight reach on Pacheco, but I think he's worth it. I think he's a very safe fourth-round pick. And given who he would have been able to get coming back around at running back, no one that really compares, in my opinion. I'd definitely rather have Pacheco than Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs by far and away over Aaron Jones or Alvin Kamara. So I'm happy that he's our RB1. I'm not upset about that pick. Then we go George Pickens. They might be getting Russell Wilson, so the deep bombs might be there. And I think Pickens is absolutely overtaken Deontay Johnson, so I'm happy with him. Brian Thomas Jr. was our 6th-round pick, and my projection is that he's a Jacksonville Jaguar going off the board at pick 17, and I think that landing spot would absolutely be a great pick for the Jags and also for him. I think he'd have a great career there. Also an excellent year one rookie season with Trevor Lawrence. Then we went Joe Mixon in the 7th round, followed by Njoku and Goddard. So our tight end position is very solid. We completed our Eagles stack. Then we went with Trevor Lawrence, hoping that it is indeed a stack with Brian Thomas Jr. Then we went Blake Corum, hoping that he's the starter in LA for the Chargers. And then we went with Kirk Cousins because it's just our third quarterback that could finish top 10. Definitely a valuable option here in the 12th round. Khalil Herbert, hoping that he's the starting running back in Chicago. And then Leggett, Palmer, Malik Washington, followed by Ezekiel Elliott and a few other picks. But that's it for me. That's it for this video. And if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next live stream. But that's gonna be it for me. My name is Adam Riancho. Thank you so much for watching. Nice and blunt.